Yo, what's good with you? It's Niaqueen, and we are back for another episode. I got my guy, the man, the myth, the legend.
Chef Frijoles, Chef Beanz. They call me Frijoles on the east side sometimes. I'm learning my Spanish. ¿Cómo te llama? Yo tengo hambre. East side stuff. But
You've been living in Cali, you learning that Spanish, huh?
Learning that Spanish and probably eating more tacos than I've ever eaten in my life. No, seriously, I've never eaten this many tacos.
I remember being younger and my dad used to always tell me, like, Nia, you need to learn Spanish. You're going to make way more money if you know Spanish. I used to be like, I ain't learning no Spanish. Like, this is America. I'm not. Now I'm like, dang, I should learn Spanish.
Yeah,
because all jobs are like, oh, we'll give you $3,000 more, $5,000 more if you're bilingual. So
pull up like Sábado jugante. Do I know Spanish? Sí.
But yeah, we're back for another episode. And what's been going on this week with you?
With me in this week and all other expressions, what I can say is that I'm very proud of myself. And I'm proud of myself because it's like skin glowing. You feel me what I'm saying? Like my email looking a little different. Mm-hmm. Business is a little more different because sometimes, right, a lot of times, let's say you have an idea. Mm-hmm. You tell it to your peers, your friends, and first some people are like, oh, yo, that's what's up. Other people are like, I don't know. And people see you regardless if they acknowledge it. They act like they don't see. They're like, oh, you did move to Cali. Oh, yeah, you did start that. But now it's just like things are just growing at such a rapid pace that it's just like, it's just interesting how people are receiving me. But at the same time, I'm grateful because I know being rewarded for my resilience. I'm being rewarded for the things that I've endured. And it's just great to be fully 10 toes in that season and to just watch how people are responding, because some people are responding with support. Other people are responding with unacknowledged disbelief. People be in competition with you and you don't even know. It's like, yo, why are you I'm not in competition with anyone. I want everybody to be great. But sometimes people be in competition with you and sometimes you don't know till you feel like a random punch on your back. Yo, what the heck was that?
I thought we was cool.
From you?
Yeah.
But I'm great. I'm blessed. How you feeling?
I am feeling, I'm not going to lie and say I feel good, but I feel content. I forgot to talk about in the last episode that I went to my homecoming.
Oh yeah, and I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot to talk about that, but
you guys are the Pirates, right?
Yes, we are the Pirates.
Hampton
Pirates. The real HU. Don't let nobody tell you nothing else, okay?
There we go, the HBCU banter.
Yes. It's been 5 years since I graduated college, and I had so much fun. It's just like being back at home. Like when you go back home and just like everything makes sense and you see all the old spots you used to be at and where you used to get picked up at the back gate. My Hampton people know what that means.
Hey, you see the old flings?
See the old flings?
Like, oh, you got 3 kids now. Okay, I'm not mad. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, some people looking very different from when they were at Hampton, and that's all I'll say about that.
And I'm sure some people were flourishing, like skin flares, all that.
A lot of people were flourishing. Like
y'all went viral. Like it was a lot of Hampton events.
The women at Hampton have always been beautiful, but it's just like even with time, everybody looks even more beautiful and just everybody skin glowing, hair flourishing, outfits was on check. Like it was just like, wow, like I'm really back at home. Like I feel like Hampton really helped me reach my full potential.
Were you, people, were you sending out the Mike Jones song to people back then? Didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me.
They wanted me. They wanted me in college.
Back then,
they wanted me too.
Back then, you wanted me.
Yeah, now you want me even more.
Talk heavy. That's that LCSW talking to you right there. That's the LCSW talking to you.
I'm not going to lie. They wanted me then, too.
Okay.
But they want me still to this day.
But it looked good. No, for real though, Hampton Homecoming did look private.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to Hampton Homecoming. I've been to Howard's. I've been to a couple, but I think it's interesting, like that HBCU like rivalry
We
that
take
y'all
it
be
so
having.
serious,
So
like
serious.
no games. But I had such a good time, and I was reminded that I graduated 5 years ago because I'm like, I cannot recover like how we used to.
Oh,
Used to just be drinking on a Thursday night,
no,
thirsty Thursdays, and go to class at 8 a.m. on Friday.
but
How
not
did
even
we
just
do
on
it?
Thursday. Sometimes if it was a random Tuesday,
Right,
whatever.
Tacos Tuesday. Like, how was I doing that and not waking up with the worst hangover ever? I don't know. That was just youth, I guess.
Right.
But now, yeah, we getting up there, and my
Yeah.
body does not recover as fast because
Right.
when I came back, me and my roommate, we just wanted to sleep. Like, we just wanted to sleep all
Sleep for
day.
days.
For that whole week, really, we felt sluggish. And I was like, dang, we really went hard, didn't we? Like,
Right.
but yeah, I love being at my home by the sea. I love everything about Hampton and just what it did for me as far as my self-esteem, as far as my career. That's where I realized what I wanted to do.
Right.
Delta, everything, like everything. I love everything about Hampton. It's just always good to see your peoples, like your peoples that used to be with every single day, that used to live in the same dorm as them.
Right.
And just I was very appreciative. And like when I was at Hampton, I didn't really like understand the significance of homecoming because it's just like, oh, it's party, party, party. But
Right. It was like another weekend, y'all, because like the following week y'all had classes.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. We didn't get it, but now that we're alumni, it's like, dang, like family. That's what you feel is immediately when you get there. I got to see some of my old teachers, and yeah, I had a great time, and the fits was looking good, and everybody loved my red hair because now I got red hair, y'all.
See, I had the fits.
I had to,
Spit
I had
it.
to, I had to come up with something different because I'm like, y'all used to seeing me with the weave and stuff, but not the red hair. I had
Right.
to
This
come different.
let me show you, switch up the aesthetic for y'all a little bit.
Exactly. And yeah, I had a great time. I kind of miss living on the East Coast a little bit.
You know what? And my experience, like, I love the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast, from Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's every time I go home, or a lot of times when I go home, it's kind of like, yo, this is cool, this is familiar. But I'm also reminded of why I left. And when I say that is because sometimes people still having the same conversations. Sometimes you trying to like explain to them what you actually really doing out west, and they're like, "Well, I mean, I sound good, but why you ain't working with Tyler Perry yet?" It's like, bro, like that shit ain't just something you just
right. You don't just start off
walk
at the top.
into.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and I think the most thing I missed about home, the East Coast, is the food. But outside of that, I feel like my goal and my aspirations have always been to be like autonomous, to move however I want to move, and I'm cool with just going home, but like passing through.
Yeah, I think since I'm from Cali, I have a different perspective because I just enjoy because I flew into DC.
Right.
So I was like in Arlington and stuff and Tyson's Corner, and I just love the openness of everything.
Yeah.
Like when you have a house out there, you have a house, you have land, you have trees.
Right.
Like a house in Cali, in LA or Inglewood.
For one story,
right.
freaking
$1 million
$2
to live in Leimert Park. Like I love Leimert Park, but $1 million for a house there? No, when I could go to Maryland and get $1 million house and have acres around.
Right.
With upstairs and a basement and you know what I'm saying?
And partridge in a pear tree.
Right.
Whatever they say in the Christmas song. 3 double doves, 4 from
everything,
above,
all of that.
Partridge in a pear tree.
But yeah, I'm thinking about maybe when I get older and have a family moving out back that way because I just want my kids to, grow up differently than me.
Right.
So
that's understandable. Yeah.
I might move back when I get a little older.
So I started working remote, right?
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm understanding taxes a lot more. Like as far as like California taxes.
Oh, you talking about that income tax that they take out your check?
I almost cried.
And the more you make, the more taxes they take out.
Yo, listen, I started crying. Whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, excuse me, this is not what we agreed to. I reached out to HR and everything, like, So I'm noticing on my pay stub, like, just break down these numbers to me because
You thought somebody stole
yo, for
something
real.
from you.
Like, yo, did y'all put in something wrong in y'all system or something? So boom, called my mentor and he broke it down to me. He was like, yo, there's a difference between basically being an employee and an employer. Because I was like, yo, like, why would you move to California if the taxes are so high?
Mhm.
And he was just saying, like, a lot of people more so move to Cali for, like, the business aspect of it because a lot of things you can write off on your taxes. So that's kind
Right.
of how you get, like, your lick back.
Mm-hmm.
Income tax, you're going to get taxed regardless. No way to avoid it.
Right.
But people kind of get that back, kind of like having a business, being able to write that off as like a business expense or a business outfit or different things like that. So when I'm saying I'm learning taxes in this new season is because it's like, okay, yes, that dinner, that was a business dinner. That shirt that I bought, yes, that was a business outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and at these social events that I go to.
Right.
So it's just
To
interesting.
promote your business. Yeah.
Adulting, there's ongoing lessons in adulting that we learn whenever we learn them. I
Right.
feel like a lot of things should have been taught earlier, whether that was credit, write-offs, shit like that I'm learning like now. Like, God damn, if I would have known this when I was 18, who knows? But we live and we go on.
Yes, sir. And it's been a lot of stuff going on in the media this week that I wanted to talk about.
Like what?
You had mentioned it in the last episode a little bit about this Drake and 21 Savage project
I was
called
listening-
Her Loss.
I was listening to it on the way out here, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's some issue on here, man.
It's a lot of things that.
Did you listen to the whole album or just one song?
Well, let's back up. I haven't listened to it.
You haven't listened to what?
I haven't listened to the project.
Anything? Oh,
No.
Okay.
And that's because of all the things that was in the media yesterday. I'm just like, like, Drake, why are you doing this? Why are you what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, and I haven't listened to a lot of Drake's projects recently because I don't know. I'll be on a different type of vibe.
Okay.
And I'm sure that it hits for the parties. You know what I'm saying? For the clubs. I'm sure that it's smacking, like, obviously he's a great artist, but the first thing that I saw after that dropped was the lyric or bar or line about a stallion lying about getting shot. And I was just like, what does this have to do with you? One.
Right.
Why are we talking about this? And in the same week when we lose somebody to gun violence, a rapper, we're also making fun of a female rapper who allegedly, because, everybody doesn't believe that she got shot, but we'll just say allegedly was shot by Tory Lanez. And it's just, I don't understand. I feel like I have yet to meet a male that believes Meg Thee Stallion. It's like we get divided on that. All the women believe Meg, and then all the men are like, no, I don't believe that. I'm like, well, why not? I just don't think Tory would do that. I just don't. What? Like, do you know him? Like,
Right.
I'm confused. Like, oh no, but I still fuck with Tory and his music. Blah 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 blah. I'm thinking. So, are we basing this off of how you feel, or are we basing it off of facts? Like, what's going on? I mean, I know you said you had a different perspective on this.
Oh, we were talking about it a little bit. So here's my thing with the whole Meg and Tory situation. I try not to involve myself in like industry entertainment shit because again, like I never know if somebody trying to sell me something. And I just don't know these niggas. Like
Right.
people put these celebrities on pedestals as if like they are the music that they sing about or they are a reflection of the organizations that they donate to or whatever. I just kind of keep everything at face value. If I enjoy a song from a person, cool, but I'm not necessarily letting that be a reflection of their integrity. When I think about the Meg and Tory situation, I've honestly been approaching it from a very neutral stance because we don't know until the truth reveals and presents itself. But what I would say this, I know when it first happened, like there was a lot of energy as soon as like it came out, Tory Lanez allegedly shot Meg Thee Stallion, right? And I feel like damn near the whole world jumped on Tory. Before information came out, it was people who say, yo, he should be burned, he should be buried under this, blah, 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 blah. But no one knew the truth. Still doesn't know the
Right.
truth at that point. And I didn't think that was okay because there's always a lot of different situations. Nor do I think it's okay for people to say Meg is lying.
Right.
I don't think either side is okay because no one knows the truth yet. I think their court date or their trial was pushed to like the end of this month or next month.
Yeah, December.
But to me, I just think like if you're going to champion one side, you also got to at least hear out the other side. Like, I don't think if you could say, cool, I'm Team Tory because I listen to his music and I don't think he would do that, then you got this world fucked up. Because people make music about a lot of things that, or if you like, I'm Team Meg because she's a woman and I'm a feminist and I'm all about womanhood. Well, that's one approach, but let's not act like there aren't women out here lying as well. Lying
Yeah,
about,
there are. Yeah.
you know what
That's
I mean?
true.
So like when I think about this situation and when I think about all of that, I just think we should truly and honestly give both of them grace until the truth reveals itself.
Mhm.
Like that's my approach. Like I'm not saying I'm Team Tory. I don't know that nigga.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I'm Team Meg. I don't know her.
Mhm.
I don't know because even when I think about like both like what was reported, first Meg told the cops that it was glass.
Right.
Right, because she said she was trying to protect Tory because of
yes.
the cops, whatever like that. Then she went and said, like, no, like, he definitely shot me.
Mhm.
Then you got Tory who's saying, I definitely didn't because, and here's the evidence, here's what's going on with her friend, everything like that. But so it's just so much shit just thrown into a pot to where now it's kind of like, okay, well, if you want to even be invested in that as a people, let's see what comes out when court actually happens. But as far as the Drake line, I mean, everything like that, I listened to the song and I was just like, I don't know. I'm just like in a space where maybe because I'm not Meg, I wasn't like 100% like impacted by it. I can only imagine like how she personally feel.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know.
It's hard.
It's
hard.
kind of like a tricky place because I really like don't really invest myself in like
celebrity
things,
yeah.
shit because I always feel like they're trying to like sell me something. It's like this over dramatic like
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I appreciate that you're taking a neutral stance and
Because
I
we
think
don't
maybe
know.
right, yeah, we don't know.
Nobody
but
knows.
When I try to like argue my point, I'm just like, why is it always when there's a dispute between a man and a woman, it's always, oh, well, what did you do? Or, well, you said this, or it's like we always try to find a way to poke holes in their story. But if it's a dispute between two men, it's like you automatically believe the dude. If he beat you up or he suck up, whatever, y'all automatically believe it. When it's a woman, it's like, oh, but you said this first, but you did this first. And it just shows a bigger trend of, you know, when there's violence against Black women, it's not always, you know, taken seriously. It's like, oh, well, what did you do? Did you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always some type of questioning, some type of disbelief. Like, we need the facts in order to believe you. Like, we need everything. We need you to, you know, it's disheartening because on the opposite end, I'm on that end as a therapist where I'm listening to, and not saying this is Meg Thee Stallion, but I'm just saying in general with violence against women or abuse against women, I'm on the opposite side listening to how women don't even want to report stuff because they know they're not going to get believed.
Right.
And that's the part that sucks for me because I'm sitting there like trying to teach them therapeutic ways to get over trauma, but they really got to look at their abuser everywhere that they go.
Right.
They don't have no protection from their abuser. And it's just disheartening to me because it's like, why do we always have to question? Like, I've had, I don't want to go into specifics, but I've had like people in positions of power when I go with a client to report a crime or to report sexual abuse, and they're like, well, did she text him back? Did she do this? Like, questioning the victim of said abuse. And I'm like, are you for real? And I'm talking about other women too. Because it's not just a man-woman thing.
Right.
It's other women that will sit there and try to poke holes in a victim's story to try to place blame on them. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? So maybe that's why I get so mad. Because maybe I'm not thinking about Meg the Stallion per se, but I'm thinking about the trend of how millions of women don't get heard or they don't get protected because we don't want to take it seriously until somebody is dead and in the ground.
Right. I think within that, like this is such a topic, like a gentle topic to talk about,
Hmm.
because I have women in my family who've definitely dealt with like domestic violence situation, and
Right.
they're like violence on women or anyone isn't fine, but we're talking about women specifically. Even last episode how we were championing Woman King, how
Right.
Viola Davis wanted to show what a woman who make decisions, who get shit done, what that can look like reflected. And we even talked about how a lot of women aren't heard. When I'm thinking about this situation specifically, like I said, I'm taking a neutral stance,
Hmm.
but what's amplifying the situation is everyone picking the side. Is everyone
Mm.
saying, I'm team this person, and who's going to be the loudest person, all leading up to the trial. So,
Right.
like, that's what I think about when I think about that situation. And even when it comes to, I don't think it's okay to not hear out a victim.
Hmm.
I don't think it's okay to not hold space for a victim, because clearly they're reporting for a reason. But at the same time, there's times where you just have to hold space, but also see what reveals themselves. So just how you're picking a side because of what you deal with personally, things like that,
Well, yeah, professionally. Yeah.
professionally, personally,
Yeah.
in the same breath, like I've dealt with situations, and at no point am I trying to like shrink anything that you're saying or
Hmm.
combat it or anything. I just want to also give another perspective of someone who's worked in res life on different colleges, and there were women who reported things of abuse that came out to be false later on, and
Hmm.
they said they did that out of spite, out of pettiness or whatever, trying to get back.
Right.
So a lot of times when dudes are responding to situations like that, or people, they're
Hmm.
usually coming from their own personal experience, because your experience is what you're going to communicate.
Right.
So in the same breath, the woman who's championing Meg Thee Stallion because they feel like women's voices aren't always as heard and things like that, which none of us can knock. We could talk about the women's movement, feminists, everything like that. There's another breath on the other side of the table that talks about, I've been a solid dude my whole life. I was just out at a party, and a woman called the cops on me because of this situation, and I had to get locked up for 3 years because I was in trial the whole time. So people are just coming from like jaded. There's a
Right.
bunch of like jaded response combating jaded response.
So let me ask you this: if the man has a history of violent behavior, do you believe the woman more in that case,
Um,
or abusive behavior in the past? Do
if
you believe the woman more?
if a dude has a, you talking about someone I know personally or somebody I'm looking at on TV? If you talking about, okay, if it's
I
some,
mean, I'm talking about personal and I'm talking about Tory because I know that he's had run-ins with the law multiple times, been in multiple fights with other people. Like it's known that he has, problems with his temper. So is it above him to, play around with the gun trying to threaten and accidentally it goes off? You get what I'm saying?
I
Like
get what you're saying, but
that's
in the same breath,
yeah.
us not knowing these celebrities, you could say, is it above Megan freaking saying that,
Mhm.
or just probably like not knowing where it came from?
Mm.
Mind you, I'm not picking anyone's
Right.
side. I'm saying there's always something like, if that scenario, what about this scenario? It's like it's all depends how you choose to perceive a situation. That's why I don't get involved,
Right.
because again, none of us was there. None of us was there. So as more evidence comes out, I think that's when you can make the most sound decision. But if you're just talking about basing off everything off of people's past or different things like that, to me, that can go as deep as even colorism, or how sometimes the law responds to us as black people.
Mm.
Because if you just compartmentalizing based off of behavior, you could say everyone from this marginalized community responds this way.
Mhm.
Look at the stats. They have over 1,000 murders, rapes, or 100, whatever, in a year. And you're from that, say, okay, cool. I'm going to treat you as such. If a person has a past, that doesn't mean they can't still respond to a current situation in a completely different way. So
Mhm.
again, you can look at things in completely different. I'm not team Tory. I'm not team Megan. I'm just, I don't think violence is cool on any level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you shouldn't respond with violence. And yeah, I'm really interested just to see when the trial happens and when the facts come out, what are people going to say? Cuz I feel like Well, I feel like everybody who's like Team Tory right now and saying like, no, he didn't do it, he didn't do it, he didn't do it. If the evidence comes out that he did or it was accident he did, I don't think they're gonna apologize to Meg Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? They're just not gonna say nothing. And it's just like, okay, I get it. But yeah, maybe once the facts come out, we'll know what's really going on.
The truth will reveal itself.
Right. Everything that's done in the dark will come to light.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Another, well, on a lighter note, a funny story that I saw on Shade Room was this girl who went on a date with a nice young man, and they were going to the movies.
Okay.
And this young man decided to stop at Dollar Tree.
Smart dude.
And the woman didn't like that.
So what'd she do?
She called an Uber and left homie in the Dollar Tree for getting snacks at Dollar Tree before going to the movies.
Yo.
And I literally commented on that. I was like, y'all asking for too much.
Yo.
Like,
I just visioned the dude walking out of Dollar Tree with his Twizzlers in his hand like, Sarah? Sarah, are you in the parking lot? With his Twizzlers and popcorn.
Right.
With his freaking gray Dollar Tree bag with their long receipt.
Yeah, like that's just
M&M's and fucking Whoppers.
Like I'm trying to picture, because I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like
everybody don't need the benefit of the doubt.
Everybody really don't, because I'm thinking this man is smart. He's being efficient. Literally, some of the same candy that's in Dollar Tree is at the movies for triple the price. And he's literally getting the same thing that he would get at the movie theater, but just getting it at Dollar Tree. And he could get you more stuff.
I blame y'all. You know why I blame y'all?
How?
I blame y'all for blasting the music so loud. Broke niggas this, if a nigga can't, boom, boom, boom. I blame y'all because here you have a dude who's thoughtful. He's proactive. Okay, I know they try and tax in there, you feel me, whatever like that. This woman has believed in her head that is below her, beneath her. It's beneath her for a dude to be proactive and freaking efficient. So I'm joking as far as like blaming y'all.
No, I get what you're saying. There is a culture, especially like with rap, well, women who rap.
Entertainment is
entertainment. It's just like if he can't afford it, then he can't have it type of thing.
Why would you invite me on a date to the movies if you can't even afford the... Who's to say he couldn't afford the popcorn?
Maybe he just is a budgeter and, knew that it was going to be this price. But that was funny to me.
That could have been a test, though. He could have been doing testing her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let me see.
And he found out exactly who she really was.
Right, drove off in the Tesla. Skirt.
Like,
out of here.
Yeah, that's...
Take your Uber back to the freaking slums where you come from.
Come on, y'all. Like, it's never that serious. Just because he won't buy you the movie theater popcorn or the movie theater Skittles that's fucking $10 for a little box of Skittles. Like, come on.
But you know what? All right, just to give the girl some bail, because it's kind of funny. Can you imagine, right? He trying to sneak the snacks in. He trying not to move because he got M&M's under his underarms. He trying not to move. So then we go to pay for it. He pull out the free movie tickets and nigga didn't spend nothing on the date. I ain't mad at her for catching the Uber.
But I think we kind of talked about this in the last episode. Like, should men be in a certain financial space to even date? Or does it matter?
I think it's in, you know what? Sorry, guys, 30 minutes.
Okay. All right.
So, Broke Beans in between Blessing Beans says no. Like, no, like you shouldn't have to. Because you know what? In all the movies and things like that, a lot of times, not all the times, but sometimes you see like the woman like building the dude up, whatever. Mm-hmm. Not all the times, just sometimes, right? Boom, boom. Give him all the resources and things like that. And eventually, whatever. But I think this, again, like the space that I'm in now, I understand the importance of like credit and the importance of just like stability, the importance of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like having your bottom row, because you trying to focus on all this other lovey-dovey stuff, but on the back end, things ain't even going well. So I think before partnership, people should just focus on like what what evolution or liberation looks like while they're in solitude.
Right.
Because a lot of times when you go to people, you look for them to fill in gaps or pick up the slack where you're lacking in a certain area, as opposed to kind of coming to a situation somewhat. I don't even know if whole is like a real thing. People use that word, I'm whole, but I think we're always constantly evolving. I think it's kind of hard because finances aren't everything.
Yeah, they're not everything, but I think it's more about you feeling secure enough to go on this date. Like,
In quality of life, I think it all depends what people are looking for. If people can be on the same page, like let's say you in between blessings, you communicate that or you share that with a
right,
person
just
or whatever
communicate
like
it.
that, and they're cool with that, and y'all can kind of help each other, however who pouring into the pot, cool. But I think, I don't know, like I'm viewing the world a lot different now when I
Yeah.
think about like the legacy that I'm personally trying to leave and what I want, what I would communicate to like my younger cousins and play like I would want them to focus on like really building themselves up. I would want
Right.
them to focus on
Before
like those
focusing
soft
on women.
skills
Yeah.
and different things like that before they trying to take a girl on a date before they potentially put something in their savings account or take someone out or whatever. Like that's the least
Yeah.
like I'm thinking about it.
I mean, obviously everybody is different, but not all women are super concerned with money like that. I know I've been on that end where I've dated people who are not financially, where I am. And it's not really a problem until they make it a problem. Until they say, like, oh, I don't want to go.
You
Or, oh,
got
I
some.
don't want to. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like, I got you. No, I can't let you do that.
But
I
that's what I'm saying. You said it's not a problem until they make it a problem. What dude want a girl to keep taking him out every time?
I mean, I'm not going to, okay. I'm not just tricking out here. Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
Don't do that.
LCSW. I mean,
I'm
hear
not
you.
just tricking out here. I'm just saying, like, if he's paid for the first couple of dates and I have the money and I want to go out with him and I want to spend time with him, I don't mind buying you food that equals $50 for the both of us. That's not a problem to me.
But you know what it is? It be ego.
Yeah.
It be ego more than anything. A lot of people don't know how to deal with their ego, so they definitely don't know how to coexist with someone who they may be trying to court. I think in the grand scheme of things, this is how the ego works a lot of times with dudes. It's kind of like, damn, like I'm in between blessings, but I still want to, still be in like some chick face, you know what I mean? I'm in between blessings, but, I still
you
want
won't be alone, though.
I don't want to be alone at the
Right.
same time. Is there a way for both of them to coexist? But even when it comes to, there's a dude who's probably making, let's say, $10,000 a year, who's probably one of the happiest people on earth because he's found a way to make that make sense. And if a woman wants to insert herself into that or whatever, then they would still have to make it make sense. But understand that she would also be trying to mesh with his quality of life. A lot of people have false perceptions of their quality of life. It's like, okay, you want a girl, not saying money is everything, but if you're going to feel a way that you can't take me somewhere, then that's something you got to deal with in yourself. That has nothing to do with me.
You said it.
You know what I
said
mean?
exactly what I'm thinking.
But it's situations like that where
Uh-huh.
dudes will be like, okay, she's attractive. I want to do something with her, but I don't know. And it's like this constant tug of war that the nigga's having with his ego and that he's
Right.
not communicating with you.
Right.
So it's not everything. There's been success stories with people who've had less or whatever and made it work. But outside ain't getting no cheaper. Outside, so if you want to breathe outside, that's going to cost you at least $20.
Right.
It costs $20 to breathe now.
Go outside, spend $200. Like, what did I do? I didn't even do anything today. But yeah, since we're on the topic of dating, the title of today's show is Dating PTSD.
I can't go
And
for
I know
that.
that's not politically correct or whatever term or whatever, but I just made it up. Okay.
Dating PTSD. That's a bar, by the way. When you texted, I was like, ooh, okay.
Man, because
What did you mean by
at
dating
the-
PTSD?
at the live show,
Okay.
I talked about why I started this podcast. And that's because I went to therapy, right?
Okay.
Myself. And I said the reason why I went to therapy is because of my last relationship.
Mm.
And let me tell y'all something, because I've
Make sure you talking to the mic.
I've been, ever since I started this show, I've been battling telling this story in its entirety, because I care about, I don't want to out people.
Okay.
Right? I don't want to out people. Oh yeah, it's going. It's gonna go there. I don't want to out people, but when I saw that this person had no respect for me, then that's when I was just like, nah, this story needs to be told, because because it's just like, I'm not gonna try to protect you when you're not protecting me at all.
Right.
Why? What loyalty do I owe to you now? Because before this second part of the story happened, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna out him. Like, that's not cool. Like, I'm not petty like that. I'm not that type of person. I'm a forgive him and move on with my life. But this is probably the most traumatic dating experience I ever had, and that's with my ex, that I was with for almost 4 years. Almost 4 years. I'm thinking, this is gonna be my husband.
Okay.
He told me, I'm gonna make you my wife one day, and I'm thinking, yeah, I got. When you grow up with parents who've been together since high school, you automatically think, oh yeah, my life gonna go like that too.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna find my high school sweetheart, my college sweetheart, whatever. We're gonna get married. We're gonna have kids. It's gonna be this, and this. Oh boy, was I wrong. But I'm glad that it might sound weird, but I'm glad that it happened, because it opened my eyes to a lot. Like, sometimes you said the Disney, what is it called?
Disney trauma.
Disney trauma, where we think that the Prince Charming is gonna come find us and we're gonna live happily ever after. That bubble was popped when this situation happened. So
let me clench my fucking
pearl.
pearls.
I gotta straighten up for this.
Jesus.
And all my close friends and family already know this story, so this is only new to the listeners. But yeah, I was in a relationship, really loved this guy, and really thought, okay, this is gonna be my husband. I saw us staying together. I would say at the top of the year that we broke up, I'm not gonna say when, because everybody's gonna figure it out. But at the top of that year, I started realizing some distance, right?
Okay.
And it started on Valentine's Day when he deleted all of the pictures of me off of his Instagram.
Okay.
All the pictures of me off of his Instagram, and I was just like, that's weird. Like, you're the one that's more so, like to show the relationship online, on social media. So it was just weird that he did that. We got into a fight about it, whatever. But when I graduated grad school, I was just like, this ain't working. Like, I just knew something wasn't right. Something was off. I was putting in all the effort, and I broke up with him. And then, like an idiot, I tried to get back with him, like maybe 2 weeks later, right? And I come back home to Cali, and I'm like, no, I'm going to make this work, because this is supposed to be my husband. Like, we could work through this, because nothing bad had happened to that point. And I was just like, maybe he just needs time to get his life together, whatever. And yeah, we have a conversation, and he's just like, I don't think we should be together. And I'm like, what? Like, you was just sad that we broke up. You was just saying, like, don't do this to you. I don't think we should be together. And I got to know why. I got to push for the why. I'm like, why? I don't understand. You was telling me 5 months ago that you wanted me to be your wife. You see me as your wife. So what are you talking about? And he just starts shaking. I'm like, why is he shaking? Like, what's going on? I'm like, just tell me the truth. I said, I know you're not telling me something. Just tell me the truth. And he looks me in my eyes and says, Nia, I'm bisexual. Dead in the eye. That was the first time I ever had a panic attack. When he told me that, I started shaking. I started tearing up. My heart rate was going crazy. And I was just like, what? What are you talking about? How could you tell this to me? Da, 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 da. So I was like, so you don't want to be together because you want to be with a man? Is that what you're trying to tell me? And he was like, no, I love you. And da, 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 da. I was like, what? And I couldn't even finish that conversation. I was just like, we got to talk about this later because I just need some time. I need some time. And it's like when you fall in love with somebody, you think this is going to be your husband. It's like, what? My world was shattered. My whole, everything was shattered. And I'm like, I couldn't, I couldn't, I couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake it. I was thinking like, Nia, be progressive. Like everybody's this now. Like maybe we could try to work. I was like, I couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake it. I was just like, yeah, no. And the reason why that I've never told this story is because a lot of people are like, it's wrong to out somebody when they're not ready to come out. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. So I never, had said anything. It's been 2 seasons where like, almost 40 episodes in. I've never said anything about it. And then there's last year when I come across a Twitter page for a adult entertainer. Guess who that adult entertainer was?
No, don't tell me.
I won't tell you. Y'all can figure it out. Y'all can put the dots together. I don't have to say it.
Oh, no.
So there's an adult entertainment page.
Okay.
This is when OnlyFans was popping off.
Just go.
Right?
Yeah, what the?
And I was like, wow, I really feel sad for him. Like, he's really stooped to this level where he's basically, selling his body on the internet. And no knock to anybody that uses OnlyFans, because I don't want people to say, oh, well, I can do whatever I want with my body. You do what you want to do, right? And I didn't have a problem with it. I was just like, this is his life. Like, I'm not with him no more. I don't care. But guess what I saw on that Twitter page? It's a video.
Of?
Who do you think was in the video? Not just him. Me.
He put it on.
He put it on Twitter and OnlyFans. So when y'all want to send me stuff saying not to out people, was he thinking about me when he put me on the internet for the world to see? No. Right? So, yeah, I say all this because what does that do to a person when the person you thought you loved and cherished and said, I'm going to make you my wife one day, to putting me on online exposed? You get what I'm saying? This is real dating PTSD. So when I'm saying I'm tired of this, this is why I say this.
You know what's crazy? There's so much that just was had. I just like
I'm gonna give y'all a minute.
When you say
I'm gonna give y'all a minute to register that story in y'all mind. This is my first time telling this story, and I'm not telling this story to out anybody. I'm not telling this story to make fun or make light of anything. I'm telling this story because I know it's other girls that have been through this. I know it's other girls that have been through this. People have come to me and told me that they've been through similar situations where, they have the revenge porn thing in California now. And so
what's that?
Revenge porn is basically when somebody you used to date
is that like a law where you can?
Yeah, you can press charges for that. Yeah, you can press charges for that, but it's very hard to, because I definitely tried to do it. But yeah, it's very hard to do that. But yeah, you can press charges if you've broken up with somebody and they keep videos of you past, this is 2 years after we had broken up, that this video is still on the internet. This is last year when I found out all of this stuff.
So when you first sent dating PTSD, I thought like dating PTSD, like you're dating PTSD. I didn't know like the PTSD
no.
that you acquire
from dating.
I thought it was like I'm dating because you can look at it from both angles. And sheesh. Hey, waiter, yeah, can I say, yo, but I didn't know it was this layered. This is layered like a freaking cake, like a
it's very
onion.
Layered. But that's the whole reason why I started going to therapy, because I felt like a failure. I felt like, how did you not know that this man was into other men? How did you not see that? How do you call yourself a mental health professional, but you couldn't figure out that this man was on the DL and basically using you as a cover, as a broad to get people off of his tracks? And the most like really hurtful thing was like when I start telling people, my friends or people that I went to school with, oh yeah, I heard a rumor about that. You heard a rumor? You didn't tell me. I heard about that, but I didn't want to say anything because you guys were just so in love and I just did. What?
That stuff is more common than I guess because I've never even really did put any extra energy towards like the possibility that dudes really be on the down low. We've probably made like some jokes or something, but like to really see it in real time, like no, there's really dudes out here who do have girlfriends to throw off the hounds.
Right. Exactly.
How okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah. Ask away.
Let me ask you this. So after finding out that information, going to therapy, starting a podcast, trying to get into the mind, because I think that was very healthy approach of you, like finding healthy ways to respond to it. How's your mental health like today? Like when you think about, because I know there were times, and I'm sure you still get triggered thinking about the situation, but how are you like in this present moment with that still being a part of like your experience?
Well, in order to tell how I am today, I have to start from how I first started acting after I found this out.
Okay.
And I used to make jokes about it. I didn't like cry about it or anything at first, initially. Talking about the first couple months after I found out and we broke up, I used to like make fun of it to my friends and they'd be like, "You okay?" I'd be like, "Oh."
Defense mechanism.
Right. Defense mechanism. I think I had put a wall up because I didn't want to go there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because I knew if I stopped making these jokes, I'm going to burst into tears.
Right.
Right? So I was making fun of it a lot and just, making light of it. I hadn't told my parents at that time, and they loved him. My dad would be like, "Oh, yeah, Nia, how's so-and-so? How's so-and-so? How's so-and-so?" I'm like,
jeez,
please stop asking me about this man. Eventually, I had to tell my parents. But yeah, so at first it was more so, let's laugh it off. Like, this is funny. This is a great joke, right? It wasn't until I realized my dating PTSD when I started to date again after. And of course, sometimes what we do is, oh, let me just go to the next person that liked me.
Right.
Even though damn well you wasn't ready to date. Yeah.
Right.
2 months later, 3 months later, you dating somebody else. You know you wasn't ready.
Right.
And the guy that I was dating was the one that realized that he was like, "You're not okay. You don't even like being touched. You don't even like holding, like, you don't like any type of affection. You don't." And I was just like, dang, I'm not really like that when I'm dating. So I don't know why I'm acting like this. He was like, I think that you should get some help. And at first I was just like, you're tripping. Like, you're just too thirsty and you want to be on me. I was so defensive. I was so mad because I was just like, don't tell me. Like, I would know if I needed help.
Right.
Because I'm a therapist. Like, I would know if I needed help. Like, what are you talking about? So it was like a lot of anger at first. And then after I stopped dating him, well, he stopped dating me because he was just like, you're
got a blast.
Right. He was like,
you're going
through it and you don't even want to acknowledge it, so I'm out. Which I don't blame him for that.
Shout
but
out to that king.
Yeah, later on, maybe like 2 months later, I started really feeling depressed and I was just like, oh, he was right. He was right. And that's when I made the call to get a therapist. And through that, I think I had gotten to a point where I was like, you know what? I forgive him because he's struggling with his own internal battles, right? And I was getting to a good place. I had been in therapy for a year. I started the podcast. That was helping me with a lot of the emotions that I had going on. But then last year, he threw that curveball.
Jeez.
With the OnlyFans. And I thought I was done healing. I said, "Oh no, you're not done."
No, but honestly, like that's some fucked up shit. Like even if you are in a good place, like you can't
no
really
one
prepare us
prepares for that.
You can't prepare
You
for
can't
some shit like
prepare for
that.
that.
Oh my,
And
yeah,
it's just
nah.
it's like all those feelings just came back, like just, blaming myself. What should I have done differently? How could he do this to me? Like, how could you say you love somebody and then turn around and do this? And like, oh, I let him have it.
Did he at
Let
least did
him
he communicate?
have
Did he
it.
respond to you?
Yeah.
Mm.
We had plenty of conversations.
So nah, I don't even know if I want to ask what I want.
Just no, we being transparent here, right? I can't encourage people to go to therapy or be in touch with their emotions if I can't even answer the tough questions. So come on.
Did he break you off any bread from the OnlyFans?
I'm done. What you think?
I don't know. You told
No,
me
he
to
didn't break
ask.
me off no bread.
You told me to ask. I'm like, I mean, if it's not down, like if he making a killing, I mean,
You ain't right.
No, you told me to ask. I didn't want to ask. You told me to ask.
Okay, yeah. He never gave me any compensation. No, he did not give me any compensation. But it was just like he had multiple people on there, and I'm like, I wonder, do they know that they're on there? That was my.
Did somebody send it to you?
Somebody sent it to me.
Oh,
One of my friends sent it to me. Said, "Oh, whatchamacallit is an adult entertainer now on OnlyFans. This is the link to his Twitter." I'm looking through it like, this is disgusting, whatever. And I sent it to another one of my friends, and she was like, "I think you need to go back and look at that." I'm like, "What?" She was like, "I'm pretty sure that that's you." And I said, nah. We broke up 2 years ago. Like, can't be me. Like, maybe it's another girl, dark-skinned girl, whatever. She was like, "No, but I remember your sheets from college." Went back, boom.
Well, today has been a very good episode.
This is like this. I'm telling y'all what really happened. That's how I found out I was on there. And yeah, it was a lot of drama after that, because yeah, it
Well,
I ended up, y'all just y'all reactions are
on the you ended up what? Before I say what I'm saying, you ended up what?
I ended up having to talk to his mama about it.
Okay, yeah, go to the source.
Because I'm like, okay, they telling me that since he deleted all the footage, like, I can't press no charges because we need actual.
Oh, so he took it down?
He took it down.
Okay.
He took it down. But I was just like, I'm still not sure. Like, he could take it down and put it back up tomorrow. So I needed like some type of confirmation that who is going to make sure that this is gone. And I knew his mama loved me. And I texted her. I said, because when you text somebody and they're blocked, you could send texts, but their texts don't come back. So he was blocked on my phone. I'm sending him all these texts. He's not responding. Because I'm like, you need to send me proof that you deleted everything. You need to send me proof, blah, 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 blah. He's not responding. I was like, oh, you don't want to respond? This is at the time I didn't know that, he was blocked, so he wasn't. But I didn't know at that time. So I'm like, you don't want to respond? All right. Sending this to your mama. Boom. And mama handled it. Mama handled it because she had my back in that. And that part of it made me feel like, okay, somebody has my back in this situation. But yeah. Wow, it felt so good to finally talk about this. It's been 3-something years, something like that, almost 4. Maybe 4 years.
Yo.
Maybe 4 years. But yeah. I was going through it, and everybody is always like so attracted to like my bubbly personality and just being friendly with everybody, but you just never know what people are going through.
What people are carrying.
You never know what people are carrying. You have to be mindful. But
the audacity of him. That's all I can say.
The audacity.
The audacity of this guy.
And that when I say dating PTSD, I'm talking about the after effects. not even wanting to deal with men at all because I'm just like, no man could be trusted.
S-
Those are those automatic negative thoughts that you get after being violated back to back, literally. Like, come on. No man could be trusted. I didn't even feel like I still feel like I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get married anymore. Uh just my whole views on, like, I used to idolize marriage. I used to idolize that perfect ending, that happy ending, and yeah, everything was shattered. Everything was shattered. But Beans, you gotta say something.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I've never
You
heard no
have to
shit like
say
this before.
something, bro.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm like, you gotta say something.
Yeah. So, well, I'm happy again. I'm happy to hear that you found healthy ways to transition from this devastation. This is violence, emotional violence that you
Right.
experience.
Yeah. I
Emotion.
didn't even answer your question. Your question was, how do I feel today?
Yes.
Remember? Yeah. So how do I feel today is just, I feel that with bad things, sometimes good things come out of it.
A lot of times.
A lot of times good things come out of it. So being able to work through that in therapy, and also really working through it through this podcast. Like, this podcast wouldn't be a podcast if I never went through that situation.
True.
Because I was never like into mental health like that before it was about me.
Right.
You get
Dang,
what I'm
that's a
saying?
bar.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to pretend. Be what you want to be. I have no
Word.
I have-
It's very fluent now in
right,
2020 to
exactly.
really
I
be
have
what you-
nothing against that community. I really don't. Like, I can't, look at that community differently just because of what he did.
It's the deception.
Right. It's the deception. Tell me who you are from the jump. You knew you were this way when you asked me to be your girlfriend. We could have just been talking. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to take it to the next step. You decided that. You brought me into your mess, and now, I have to deal with the aftermath, and you get to be in love. You know what I'm saying?
So I think in this moment of reflection, you just said something that stood out to me. And I'm just an average guy,
Mhm.
but you said he gets to be in love after y'all situation. I think now what you have to continue to do is choose to be in love with yourself.
Mm.
And keep leaning heavy into that. So it's like love can still and will still happen, but you have to like choose it.
Mm.
You have to really keep choosing it for yourself and keep leaning into that, even if situations don't always seem like they make sense. Even when patterns repeat themselves, it's more so how you respond to that. So if you noticing like, dang, I keep attracting the same type of like dude or whatever, like people's intentions are like, how can I do better with this like next time, while also not being 100% shut off. So it is like a tricky ass world that we all live in. But I think what you said, man, he gets to be in love, but I think it's just how you perceive it.
Mhm.
He'll do whatever him and his lover decides to do, but that doesn't mean love can't still exist in yours. You just have to fully choose it, embrace it, even if that is 100% just like in solitude right now. You get what I'm saying? You have to choose it, like wholeheartedly, though.
Yeah. Beans is my therapist, guys.
No. You gotta choose it. You gotta choose it wholeheartedly, yo. It's just like that situation, man. I'm not usually one to be lost for words.
You
but
really aren't, and I'm really shocked right now because I'm like,
I
you
think-
have nothing to ask me.
no,
but
because it's not surprising to me about like dudes coming out the closet or whatever. That's not surprising to me. But I think it was just the if you thought that was crazy, just wait till you see my next trick. I'm not only going to come out the closet, I'm also going to show the world. Yeah. It's just tricky.
It's
tricky,
very
but
tricky. I think the hardest part for me has been learning to forgive and what that really means, and understanding that forgiveness is not always for the other person. Sometimes it's
yourself.
for you. And choosing to let go of that anger and resentment so that it doesn't weigh me down, because it could have, and it did at some point weigh me down a lot, to the point where I don't even want to be intimate with nobody, because I'm like, are you recording me? Are you know what I'm saying? Like, I that's what I'm saying. Dating PTSD. Like, these are the after effects of that. But I I I I am in the process. I won't say I've completely forgiven him for everything, but I feel like I'm in the process of learning to let that go. And when people bring it up to me, it's either hit or miss. Like, sometimes I'll be like, they say it and I'll be like, okay, whatever. But maybe sometimes I'll see something and it's like, dang, that did happen to me. Dang, that took me back to where I was at that time. But I definitely feel like mentally, emotionally, I'm doing a lot better than where I was 3 years ago when it first happened. And I'm on the road to forgiveness. I'm on the road to
Forgiveness
forgiveness.
for yourself.
Right, right. And
Forgiveness for you.
that's the biggest part too. I had to forgive myself
Sure.
and
I
stop
think
blaming
I
myself.
think that is the part, because
Right.
a lot of times we hold ourselves to a certain standard of how we know we should respond in a situation. Or
Right.
we should have known. I should have knew this was going on, and we put so much pressure on ourselves. But we kind of battling deception.
Hmm.
We can't fault ourselves for things that we didn't know,
Right.
and literally be like,
My therapist said those exact words. Yeah, we can't.
"Don't come on, man. My credentials might just say CB for Chef Beanz, but it's about to be CD SWV, whatever it is. I get so
But yeah, you can't be mad at yourself for what you didn't know. You have to
right.
learn to forgive yourself and know.
Jesus.
Like, you're not good. Some people are really good at deceiving and being deceitful. So maybe they knew they were hiding it from you.
They
They
got a master's
knew.
in manipulation.
Exactly. So you have
Mhm.
to learn to forgive yourself. And that it still goes into what we're talking about. When you go through any type of trauma, whether it's physical, like gun violence or whatever, um, even emotional, it's always self-blame. That is a common reaction of trauma. Self-blame.
What did I do to get myself in this situation?
Exactly.
How did I
I
get
should
here?
have did this
What
so this
decisions
person
did I
wouldn't have
make?
gotten hurt. Exactly. So yeah, I had to learn to forgive myself. I mean, yeah, forgive myself, and I'm still in the process of forgiving this young man. But Beans, you don't have any dating stories? No, nothing.
Oh no,
No.
no, definitely.
I'm like, I know
No,
I took up most of the time of the episode,
no,
but
no, definitely. I'm happy that space was held for that.
mhm.
Sheesh. Sorry, I need to go get a pack of smokes. No, but dating PTSD. I think dating PTSD started with me since we being vulnerable. I think dating PTSD started with me with like early on in my relationship with my parents.
Mm.
And I say that because I lived most of my life growing up with my dad and my stepmom. My mom lived in another part of New Jersey. And I think, how do I say this? I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Just trying to just word it properly. But I think the relationship that I had with my mother was never really like created. It was just kind of like something like saw each other like in passing, because my parents had me at like a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am. It's like we kind of grew up with each other.
Mm.
And I think like within that, a lot of people's first place where they learned how to love is in the household. But I feel like we were all learning it at the same time, while sometimes your parents are repeating things that they might have saw when they were growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So within that, as I transition into an adult, I think the lovey-dovey side of Beans that I got mainly came from like music. It's like what did that was freaking Donnell Jones or somebody, Carl Thomas, singing about something. I'm like, oh, like that seems like mad cool, but also just like failing myself forward. So the PTSD to me when it comes to dating, I think it was just like trial and error, but also my ego not wanting me to ever look like I got mustard on my shirt, like I was never to blame. So
When you started dating.
Yeah, like I lacked accountability for like I think everything. Like the first time I lied when I was a kid and I got away with it, I think I kind of got a good taste of like manipulation. Like I can manipulate the situation
Right.
to be whatever I want it to be. Still good intentions, but at the end of the day, I'll say whatever I need to say to kind of curate this environment or the situation to be whatever I want it to be. And it's not until in my last relationship I got caught cheating. Like it got real messy. Like I was like messing with somebody who worked at the like it got messy. Just know
Okay.
it got real
Okay.
messy. But I say that to say that was the first time I felt like I couldn't really manipulate like a situation. Like I'm usually just like talking myself out of every situation. Oh no, that didn't happen. This happened, whatever like that. But I think the first time I was really put in a situation that I couldn't really manipulate, that's when my ego was really checked. So it's honestly PTSD that I put there though.
Oh, I mean that's both sides.
Yeah.
We always got opposite sides of the.
I placed it there. Like a
There's
lot of
two sides to a
situations
coin, okay?
you could get to the root of, oh my gosh, I never saw this, or I was so, you know what niggas say when they get caught cheating.
Exactly.
Like I had every line in the book, but I think also it's the just taking accountability, just be like, okay, like regardless of whatever type of upbringing you had or whatever like that, we still make decisions like as an adult. So yeah, and I think I just kind of like kept going from there and just like being okay with like operating in the space of like, I ain't gonna take accountability for something if I don't got to. So I think that's where a lot of niggas like staying in that gray space. They like staying in that gray space because it's kind of like, I can kind of do what I want. Well,
So you saying are you saying you still do that? Or
no,
you saying
no,
you
no,
grew
no,
up?
no,
Okay.
no,
I'm
no.
like, just
No.
want to be clear.
No. I'm just saying it's just like it's just an interesting like take like PTSD in dating. Like you never know where the root of it comes from, but you're responsible for I guess that root based off of how you choose to respond in your present moment. Like you can't
Right.
keep blaming relationships with oh my parents, my dad was never there, so that's
Right.
why I don't got a relationship with men like that. Or my
Exactly.
mom was this type of person. Like you can't really like fault or put that at fault. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like get to know yourself so you know how to respond and communicate. And if you're just gonna be like ain't shit nigga or chick, like communicate that. If you
Right.
that bold,
Right. Exactly.
because one thing about karma does not miss a beat.
It comes back around. Okay. And one thing that stood out to me, what you just said, is like being mindful. So you're on the side of being mindful of how you know, traumatize some of these women and how you can change and be accountable. But me, what I had to be mindful of is, are you really ready to start dating? Because I'm mindful that I still have all these, side effects from this previous thing. Be mindful that you're not ready. Be mindful that you still have all these PTSD symptoms and you need help. And that's what really pushed me to go to therapy. So that's why I always say to people, like, do some type of mindfulness, do some type of therapeutic activity, do some, if you don't want to go to therapy, journal, something. Like, you need to be mindful of what's going on within you so that you can live the rest of your life. You don't want to go through the rest of your life worrying about this one situation and thinking about that all the time. So yeah, be mindful,
Communicate intentions. If you even
communicate
know them.
intentions, like, living your truth. Living your truth. Please live in your truth and tell people what they're getting into when they, are interested in you. Because there's some people out there that might be with it. Wasn't me, but I'm just saying. And you know what? We're gonna wrap it up. We had a heavy episode.
Yes.
Not really heavy for me, but it seemed like it hit y'all a couple times.
I think that honestly, like the heaviness just comes more so out of like the old shit. Like, but I'm not surprised. There are people who just really do. It's a sick world we live in. Like, so I'm not surprised. It's just more so like, and you breezed past the situation before a little bit, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I think I told you a little bit of it, but that's the full story, guys.
That's the full story. So I think it was just like the circle back. Like you thought that was wild. Just wait till you see my next trick. I think that was the larger like the whoa, but
yeah. Yeah, it's about being transparent. I can't encourage mental health without being transparent about my own mental health. So if this is going to help somebody, that's all that really matters to me. That's all that really matters to me. And Beans, you got anything coming up for November?
November 27th. Again, like that's when I'm thinking about doing the next Transparency Chapter 4 screening. Well, you came to the ones you already know what the you already fucking know. Niggas can't fuck with me. Oh, but out besides that, I know in December I'm gonna be in Jersey for a little bit. Gonna go see a play on Broadway to get more inspo. So circle back 2023, renting out this big theater for another sold out situation. But that's what's on the foresight, and just about to end the year, just people really about to be sick of me on social media because I got a rollout that's about to just be like, who yet? What about you? You got anything coming up?
I don't have anything coming up. Really, just support Kid Onyx, and also the merch should be available by the time this is out. So yeah. And follow us at __ what's good with you on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube and our Patreon. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yes, subscribe, leave comments, leave ratings, 5 stars,
leave
all
comments.
of that.
Yeah, leave
Tell
comments.
us your
What do you
stories.
think
we'll
about
break
this?
them down. We can't break down everyone, but we might randomly pull one out of a hat. Like, leave stories. Tell us your
We want to interact with our audience more.
Yes.
Definitely.
So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for that. Be here.
Yeah, and it's been another episode of What's Good With You.
Peace out.
Peace.